Welcome to another podcast of Yo Soy Tu Maestro podcast.
Goloso.
That was me just throwing out an
Roar.
idea. We're still working on the name. Nothing settled. I said Yo Soy Tu Maestro. El que te dejó llorando. Nah.
No,
There's so many.
podcast.
There's so many names. I don't know. But this episode is gonna be a little. There's gonna be a lot of sentimental value to the conversation. It might get a little difficult. We might put some people in jail. No, I'm just kidding. But it's gonna be a tough one because I think this is one of the ones that we are actually gonna be missing Diego big time in this podcast because I think we all can relate to it as men who seen our fathers, be part of a family and see what roles they took in our families. So we're calling it platos rotos, and I think we said it in the intro. And we, in English, it's broken plates, and basically, it's broken plates that men today are paying for generations in the past. And when we say that, we're talking about machismo, which is one thing that I think today we are trying to. We're not trying. I think we understand that the machismo that maybe we saw and the machismo our parents saw, because my dad talks about stories that he saw with his dad that were insane to hear the stories. I've had conversations with my dad when he tells me about things he saw with his dad and his mom, and you just think about it and you're just like, wow, that's crazy. In a way, the things he saw, it's just that era that I don't know if I should say it, but I'm gonna say it, when women used to get smacked. Women used to get smacked all the time, and I think we collectively agree. Even Diego's not here, but I think we all four of us collectively agree that is not the way to.
It ain't right.
It ain't right, but I also don't think as a human to human interaction, like you don't even hit your dog, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to smack your dog. You want to teach them with treats. Now, I'm not comparing women to dogs, and I'm not comparing women to giving them treats and stuff, but I'm just saying that I don't think it's a human way to solve issues, solve problems, solve things we don't agree with, and that's kind of what we want to get into this podcast as far as like. I think now we're getting into relationships. We're getting into, living with women or having kids with them and trying to make a life. But in a way, I feel like these women are, and I can speak maybe a little bit about personal experience, but more, what I get to see around me, friends, non-friends, and other people that I feel like we're paying for plates that we didn't break individually.
Oh, it's a heavy baggage. That is, el machismo is a heavy baggage.
I agree. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all have some stories about, machismo can be in different ways. It doesn't have to be, machismo is not necessarily, like a disciplinary act. It can just be abandoning of the family and coming back after the weekend and, I'm here now and, simple stuff like that. I got a good story about my grandpa.
Oh, man.
It's like, hey, I love my grandpa.
Broncos, let's ride.
But you know what? It's like, man, when I hear the story, what he would do, I'm just like, damn, grandpa, you wild. Like, I would not do that. Like,
Is he not in jail
is
yet?
crazy. You ask him, and he's probably going to be like, it's not true.
What was it about or what?
And I can get into it right away. I mean, might as well, And it's not, I want to say, at least from what I know when it comes to, down to my grandpa, I think my grandpa just turned, if I'm correct, 92 in October. So, props to him for being here for that long. But, I just hear the stories about, him and my grandma, they had, 9 kids, I believe. If I'm correct, 9 kids. And, my grandma's from Sonora.
Women freak out with 2 nowadays. But anyway.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, 2 or 3, that's a lot. 9 back in the day, yeah, you had 9 kids to help you around the house. You know, you don't have to pay them.
Yeah.
But it comes back down to, they come out from Mexicali, so the stories that I hear, it's like, man, my grandma was one kid after another. Where was my grandpa? It's like he was crossing the border to the States.
Did she have postpartum
Man,
depression?
That did not. Oh,
Can't have that 9 times, eh?
You can have that back then.
Oh, okay.
But my
Damn.
grandpa was crossing the border to the States for the weekend and then going back.
Yeah.
And it's like in a time where kids were being sent to the bar to get your dad out of the bar because, hey, mom needs you at home type of era.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like my grandpa was attending. He went out all the way to Vegas to watch boxing fights, like, and then he would go back home and was like, well, I ain't got no money.
Yeah.
But he would work.
Yeah.
But he would, like we all do at times nowadays, take our little bit of money, go out, have some fun. But he was kind of doing it on a every other weekend basis, and it's like, damn, my grandma, again, we're talking about los platos rotos, right? Where it's like my grandma stood by,
Yeah.
stayed with them, once pretty much my mom and her sister, which is the second oldest of the kids, came over to the States, and they ended up bringing everybody over. They did the hard labor to bring everybody over, from the rest of the siblings to my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a version of los platos rotos that, females kind of had to deal with. Back
It was
in the day.
easier because the Trump wall wasn't built yet.
Oh, man.
So
I
they
got to
say.
do, hey,
But it's halfway built. So
like
it's not that great.
there's a song. There's one of those corridos. You don't need passports to the desert,
Yeah.
right?
You just need a little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck and a lot of water.
I don't know how the hell they did that. You know what's funny? I'm going to say something funny about that. To lighten up the conversation a little bit, I think it's funny how, our parents, around 16, 17, 18, 19, they came to a whole damn country, walked like 2-3 days, whatever, across the desert. And for us, you go to Little Caesars in the corner without telling them at 18 years old, and they're freaking out. And I'm like, you crossed the whole damn country, went and started a whole life.
You were a teenager.
You're an adult, dude. Yeah, exactly. You're a teenager
teenager.
doing like this crazy stuff. And for me, I'd go to Little Caesars without telling my mom, come back with crazy bread and marinara sauce, and she's freaking out. First of all, how the hell did you buy that? Second, why didn't you tell me you went to Little Caesars, Which is
And
kinda
third
crazy.
of all,
Dude.
hay frijoles y arroz aquí.
Yeah, no. So I think the story from a lot of first generation, it's like, it's crazy. My dad told me the story of how he came out through a sewer in a store at the edge of the border to get to this country, and he tells me how old he was.
Yep.
Because I used to drive from, I can't remember, like it's Yuma in Calexico.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad told me, he's like, I came out through one of those sewers at a store. And I never knew what store, of course. He just said it was a grocery store. I came out from the sewer, and I can't believe it. And I'm like, how old were you? And he tells me how old he was. I'm like, dude, I couldn't even.
Imagine doing something like that.
Well, because I'd get smacked or something, or I'll get in trouble or grounded, or I can't play PlayStation or play with my my Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something, because they'd be pissed off if I even got. Like, my mom was waiting for me at the limousine spot by MOI. And if I wasn't there, like 5 minutes later, she was freaking out. But they came out through a sewer, came and started a whole life in a different
And
country.
you
It's
only
crazy.
live like 5 more minutes down the street.
Yeah, and she had to pick me up there.
She'd pick me up first, and she'd tell me that I have to go look for him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She would tell me,
were like in
si
walking
Ricardo
distance.
no llega en 5 minutos, vas a ir a buscarlo. I'll be like, okay, mom. Shit. But yeah, now I get your
No,
point
yeah.
of,
So it's just crazy, right? But the thing, and then how far our parents got, like they literally got here with nothing, came, did their honest jobs. But not going back to the broken plates. I think now though, we're too comfortable, right? I think women are too comfortable. I think men are too comfortable. I think, in a sense, we are too comfortable that we have time to think about too much shit in a way, right? Like, I think then it was about providing for family. Once you had children, men had to work, women stayed home. They, and going back to the broken plate situation, I think times are different now. Obviously women are pursuing careers, pursuing better jobs. For whatever reason, they're trying to compete with men because obviously we held these jobs for a long time. And I think it's a good thing, right? I think it's a good thing. I think we could all agree it's good that they're pursuing the thing. But that pursuit of chasing the CEO jobs or trying to compete with men, women are forgetting the most important thing is being a mother.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
we need moms.
That's a direct shot, but yeah.
That's a good point.
I'm not saying that we need more. We need moms more than we need dads. I think if you're missing one of the two, it's like, if this recipe asks for salt and pepper, you need both. And I think right now we're in a stage where women, because life tells them you want to be a mom or you have to be a mom, they end up being moms, but they're just confused as far as like, well, you have to be a mother first. At some point, you have to be a mother first, and I think that's where I'm saying I think we're paying for broken plates because they see their moms, they didn't pursue
their dreams,
whatever they were,
but yet they learned to stay there. And I think that's to chime in and cut you off on that broken plate part. There is, they're used to that, right? So that's, you can only do what you were taught, right? And so it's kind of what they saw, what women see, and they try to imitate that, whole try to stay there and stuff. But now they're waking up to the point where they're like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to. And so now they're no longer that mom that you're speaking about. That, let's be honest, they're not. They're not. There's not a lot of moms,
No.
that we can say, if that makes sense.
Not like our moms.
Yeah. I want to say it like that, but yeah, you're right.
That wash, cook, clean, take care of the household, and regardless of what the situation,
you're sounding like a machista right now.
Or hold on,
good. We like it. Keep going.
Or how tired they are.
Yeah.
You go and visit them. Mijo, ¿quieres comer? Ahorita te sirvo.
That was a love language, though.
But you know
right?
what?
Did you not feel that? I felt like that was a love language.
But you know what? Okay, coming from the whole, topic, those platos rotos, that it's like our moms, first generation born kids, they come from Mexico because what they grew up seeing. Their moms were doing the same thing to their dad or husbands. Getting home, getting the boots off, serving the plate. What were men doing back in the day?
Same thing that we're doing, though, right?
Working, right?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Men back in the day were providing for the families, and they were the ones working. Mom taking care of household.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way it worked back in the day, you didn't need mom to work. The men.
It was more affordable for that to be a thing.
And then, you come over to the States, and it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Things start changing.
Yeah, paying $5 for a McDouble is not sustainable.
Females start.
It's out of control. You remember back in the day we used to pay what?
$1 for a McDouble.
$1 for McDouble. Now I'm paying $5 something. It's not fair.
Things starting to change nowadays. Even our parents, you can probably say our parents attended our dads, our moms attended our dads the way our grandparents attended, each other. And my dad, work. He didn't grow up with a dad, but his thing was, I gotta work my ass off so I can put money on the table, food on the table, and my family have clothes on the back and a roof on top of the head.
But so then what's the reason that it's stopping now? Where's that?
I think I had a conversation with a lady last week about this, and she said you have to, I think, like, let's say you're dating someone or you're married with someone or you have a kid with someone, you have to look at their mom. So your suegra.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and bash suegras and stuff like that, but sometimes based off the ideas they got, they put it on their daughters. So, for example, this happened to me with your father. Don't let it happen to you.
Exactly.
So now here we go with the broken plates. I know we keep saying it. So this is where I don't know if you guys, but in general,
yeah.
men in this generation are paying the plates that your suegro broke. And so these women are coming into these relationships or trying to build a family because that's what they're taught to do supposedly. But then when you get into it, they don't know how to do it and they don't want to do it. But what I'm trying to get to is I'm not getting to my point straight away. But what I'm trying to say is because their dad broke the plates, now they come into this relationship looking for red flags, which I hate that term, but they're looking for these signals of everything negative the man does, they highlight it. But they don't look at the positives anymore because they're just too focused on when is he going to show me signs of what my dad was.
Keyword, no te dejes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I mean,
yeah. No te dejes is a huge one.
Cannot blame half of them because the other half maybe have a legit point of why
for sure.
Moms are telling their daughters no te dejes.
For sure.
Because they're growing up seeing certain things and they're going to be like, no te dejes que te trate así. Okay, cool. If it's in a negative way, I agree. But at the same time, it's like they try to generalize. Yeah, put it in a general perspective where it's like, no te dejes, so daughters are taking it overall. No, me voy a dejar.
And then that's the thing though, because then now they can't distinguish, when there's a genuine dude, a genuine man that's coming into your life and he's trying to do, some of that old fashioned stuff, right? Where you're trying to provide, you're trying to care for the girl and stuff. And then they don't know how to value it.
But
and it goes to shit. And it's like, you're again, right? We're saying it a lot now, but that's part of those broken plates that now I'll consider myself a genuine good dude, and I made
consider
mistakes.
You a good dude.
Thank you, man.
I've never dated.
That's
so
why.
I know.
That's why you're my late night booty. You're my late night booty call for a reason.
So this is where this is where it becomes kind of the gray area that I heard you mention, where obviously if you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at yourself, you say, I am a good dude, I am this.
Fuck yeah, I'm a good dude.
Okay, cool. But where I want to head to with this is like, I think today providing for a family is not enough. I think the bar for men keeps getting pushed up and up and up and up. And whatever up is, I don't know, because every female has a individual perspective of what up is. Whether it means you shut the fuck up and that's up for them, that's what you have to do. But providing is the basics. Just like the basics for men could be cook, wash my clothes. For them, they keep putting the bar up for us, where it's like we knew that the bar for us is work. How difficult our jobs usually are next to females' jobs. I mean, they're not truck driving out there. I mean, I see some female truck drivers now.
Companions.
Huh?
Companions.
No, actual truck drivers.
Yeah, no.
Female
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Companions, and there's some females that do
if we generalize most of the jobs that men get out there, I mean, when we worked at that one warehouse together, you had females picking out brake hoses while you're over here grabbing drums, rotors, and a lot of heavy stuff, right? So I don't want to. I'm not gonna get into that because I think that's a topic that we will hit eventually, as far as like women in sports, the difficulties and all that stuff. But if we stick to this topic, like I said, I think the men's bar is being pushed up much higher now, where you going to work every day, even though you might not like your job and you're having a hard time, that's just the standard. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say this. There was a standard for females to do just a few things at home that they don't want to do anymore. That it's almost like if I pick up your sweater from the floor,
Yeah.
then I need you to do this.
By-
And it's
yeah,
like, it becomes
tit for
a,
tat.
yeah.
And you know what? Just to chime in on the whole thing you said of men providing and having to go to work and it's not being enough for the females. I do want to say one thing though, where it's like financials have made it to the point where it's like, in order for the female to stay at home and not worry about, you know, let's say finance, right? The money coming in, then man has to make X amount of money. Otherwise, the reason because females have decided to, I'm not going to say fully entirely the reason why, but part of the reason why females are having to work.
I'm gonna tell you something that you're gonna be like, what the hell? You know what I think? And this is what it is. This is how I feel it is.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
When we,
I know. It's related to what you're talking
I don't
about.
I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I have a girlfriend. But for me, I've been single for X amount of years. I've been working hard, and a lot of men work hard nowadays, and they try to get money, try to get a house, try to build something to be able to provide.
Mm-hmm.
Women work hard and try to get their masters and get these high jobs for what? To be independent from men. We don't think like that. We think, let me work hard to be able to provide for a family soon. Women don't think like that. Women say, I want to work hard so I don't need to depend on a man.
Exactly.
And that's what I think is I think it's wrong, because I don't think a female works hard, is individual, and says, I want to make this money to be able to provide on a family. I'll tell you something. I met a girl once that said to me, sign this paper, give me a kid, but I don't need you. I make enough money to support this kid. I just want a baby, but I don't need you. You can sign a paperwork for me, give me a kid, and you can go on your way. Because she probably makes a lot more money than I do.
But was he gonna have the last name or she?
No,
Your
I had
last name?
nothing to do with it. She said you can disappear
Sperm
from the
donor.
map.
Sperm
Yeah,
donor.
Sperm donor.
Well, you know, what you touched upon earlier, you do have a valid point, but also it goes back to what we're talking about, los platos rotos. Why was another reason why females decided to work and have money of their own, besides financials? Because, you know, once the fucking gallon of milk goes up, everything else goes up, right? Minimum wage goes up, cost of living goes up. So you need a little bit of extra help. But a part of the reason why females started working, los platos rotos, some of them got tired of dealing with men that were just not treating them well,
Yeah.
abusing them. And maybe they were, you know, talking to their closest friends and leave them at a time where leaving wasn't an option back in the day.
It was never an option for a woman, man.
Exactly.
It's weird how it just became a trend now, where it's the women now. The woman is now the one that says,
Yeah, but
fuck you, I'm out.
I don't want to be I have to be it obviously in the country we live in today, financials is so important. If they don't have money, they don't leave. They don't, because where are they how are they gonna run to? And one thing, it was this crazy thing that I heard online, where it said, you know, you see, you know, they're fighting for these. They're fighting to be individuals. They're fighting to be liberated from men, they say. But you see these rappers, multimillionaires, they slap women around with money and they shut them. And they take the money and they do what they want and they do what they say. Do I think it's wrong? I think everyone has a choice. OnlyFans is a choice. I would take it if I was a female. I'm not going to lie. I've always said that. Now, what I'm going to say, this is where I'm going to go. This is what I'm going to...
toes.
Hold on. Let me tell you something real quick.
Or be a
before
truck
that.
driver or show my... For fucking...
So show your toes.
Let me tell you
I'll
this
sell
real
my
quick.
toes. I'll do petties every week. I'll tell you that much. Because waking up every day at 3 a.m. is getting a little difficult, my friend. You know?
I agree with the fact that the group of females that should be getting paid more than guys. I don't know if you guys are gonna like this one, but and I feel strongly about this one. The only group of females, or not only, but in my opinion, a group of females that should be paying more than guys.
Asian massages.
Parlors? No. Massage parlors? No. I'm gonna go with the U.S. Women's National Team.
I don't want to get into it.
You know why? Let me tell you why.
Dude, who do you like?
Let me tell you why.
Rapino or something?
You might as well take a knee for the anthem, dude. Please.
Oh no. Right hand over my heart, ready begin.
Well, you might as well take a knee now. With
No.
that comment.
Anybody that can bring us 3
Rapone.
World Cups.
You brought the other episode. You brought the Raiders in. You destroyed my love story
This guy.
towards you, and now you're fucking it up by putting in the USA, man.
All I'm gonna say is, I would rock a women's U.S. national team soccer jersey over a guy's. Hey, and I root for Mexico. Mexico over the U.S. I'm Mexican American at the end of the day. When Mexico is playing the U.S., I will root for Mexico. When they're both in the World Cup, I want both of them to succeed. Now, if they both got to match up against each other the way they did in 2002, then
You lost half of the audience already.
I cried. I cried in 2002.
You lost half of the audience already. They said, "What the hell?" You're talking about
I'm
the
telling
U.S. and
Brian
Mexico.
that
What did he say?
No, I get what he's
I
speaking
root-
about the U.S. and Mexico still.
I root
And
for
I'm telling him he lost
Mexico.
half of the audience.
Are you in the dating phase now or what?
The
I
only
think-
time I root for both of them is in the World Cup.
Good
Unless
for
they
you.
face each other like
Raider
in
fan?
02, then
This is what
I
Raider
cried,
fans
but-
are about.
I mean, I'm only saying, hey, look, you know what?
They fail every
That-
year and support still.
That group of females brought us 3 World Cups. There's
well.
3 stars to that shield. I will rock that
They
jersey.
made what Mbappe makes in 2 hours.
And you know what? And it's a tough situation, but
Let's jump out of the soccer ditch now. Let's go back to.
unfortunately, the U.S. doesn't really have a great women's soccer league, so that's the issue. Also, the men's isn't even great either.
Dude, the
so.
guy that never played in our team can play in a female team and be all right.
Ouch.
Have you seen the Mexico soccer team? That shit's ridiculous. You got the tortillera, you got the fucking tamalera killing it in the team.
That's different. Yeah, they gotta work like 2-3 jobs and play for the Mexico national team.
Look, my point is here is that I think...
Went a little bit off topic, but you know what I'm trying
Very
to get to.
off topic, Raider fan.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I also like the Dodgers.
No, that's a tough conversation.
How many happy dads has he had already?
Not enough.
No, I think enough.
Not enough.
I think enough.
I think sober, you're more real.
Oof. I'm getting clouded by that.
Right now, you're trying to look for some booty call.
Speaking about soccer, was cambio, Diego.
booty call.
Where are you, Diego?
Brian's right
Cambio.
here.
No,
Yeah.
so going back to the topic as far as what we were talking about, dude,
Yeah.
I think that it's unfortunate that it is very hard for us to afford a household as men ourselves. It is hard. You can do it. I mean, you can do it. California, I have to be honest with you guys, it is difficult.
Dude, you gotta hustle.
In California,
In many ways.
California is a place where you sink or you swim. It's one of the two. And if you decide to swim, you're going to swim hard. And it is hard and it's cool, because it's not cool, but it is a place where
It's a lot of work, dude.
you do need a woman's help. You do need her salary. They do need to work. They don't need to, but it does help. It makes everything easier. Obviously, if you take the financial issue out of a relationship, it makes everything else easier. You can focus more on other parts of your relationship than the financial part. Because if you add financial problems plus getting to know this person plus trying to deal raising with kids and all that stuff, I don't have kids, but I can picture and understand how difficult it can be. What I'm trying to get at with this is that I think we've gone too far. The narrative has been pushed too far to one way, where I'm seeing I have more than 10 cases in my hand that I can count, and I can name these people where they ran into terrible mothers that left, mothers that are not interested, fathers that are taking over. And I think, we went a little bit too far off the topic, but I think more than anything, we can jump back in as far as saying, I think, women now, there's not a lot of good mothers out there. And I had this conversation earlier in this year with actually some coworkers where they said you can have three things. You can you could have a good woman, a hardworking woman, or a good mother. You can only have one of those three nowadays. It's very hard to find one of those three.
What's what you said, Renee? You said something similar. What was it that you told me?
I said, I was going to touch upon that real quick about something similar to the three things Ricardo just mentioned.
You told me three things, right?
It's
you remember?
My mom. I grew up with a sister, so I got to see firsthand what it can lead to. And my mom kind of, not practiced me, but I guess she saw how things were going. And she was pretty much like, look, women nowadays, and I'm 15. And she's talking about women nowadays.
Yeah.
Like we said, due to financials, some women do have to work. Yeah. You need two incomes in a household to survive, to get through. That's fine. But, my mom's excuse is like, dude, I used to work. I didn't stop working until your sister was born. And I'm the third of 3. So I'm the youngest one. So she's like, I used to come home and do what I had to do and, wash, cook, clean, take care of you guys. So she stopped working halfway through my sister and then me. So, and she's like, women nowadays are not going to do all that.
No.
What would you tell me?
Man,
what'd you tell me? Because it did impact me, dude. When you told me that shit, I remember I told my brother that shit. I told him, Renee told me, and go ahead, finish it off. It
was just my mom was like, look, you'll get lucky if you have somebody that will cook for you. Mm-hmm. Clean? Who knows? Mm-hmm. Wash? Who knows? If you can get 2 of the 3, you're lucky. Yeah. If you get 3 out of 3.
Oh, times have changed, man.
I don't know where you found that one. Not even las del rancho will do that for you. Because you know how they used to say back in the day, oh, tráete una del rancho, she'll do everything for you.
Yeah.
That's not even the case anymore. And you know what, though? But not that I was relying on that.
Yeah, same.
But, she was letting me know. And I grew up with that mindset of, like, I'm not expecting to find a woman that's going to cook, clean, and wash for me.
Same here.
So she taught me to wash my clothes.
Yeah.
I can at least tell you I won't starve to death. I can fix myself some food. Yeah. And clean is simple. You just got to know what kind of products to use.
Just don't put your cup of noodles in microwave.
Hey, you're not supposed to, but everybody does it.
I get you.
To wrap it up, what's one of the final advices you would give, Ricardo, if you had a let's say a 14 or 15-year-old, I don't know, niece or relative that you would speak to, or maybe somebody that, doesn't have that father figure or whatnot, what would you advise her, and I'm speaking towards a girl, right? I wanted towards a female. What would you advise her now?
It's so weird though, right? Because I feel like, obviously I'm not her father, but if I were a dad, a girl dad,
yeah.
Dude, in a way, I know I'm like sitting here talking smack or whatnot, but I almost would want her to be independent.
Take care of your person.
In a strange way. But, and it is so weird because I think that's the agenda that's built into us because, right now when you said that, that's the first thing I thought. Like, I would want an independent daughter. I would like a daughter that pursues a dream and so on and so forth. But I think this is where the mother is very important. Where as a father, I want her to chase her dreams and I want to help them chase their dreams and be a dreamer and believe in herself and stuff like that. But I think that's the job as a father, to show them what a good man is. Because if they see that, I think they'd understand that I don't have to be an asshole to the first guy that I like, or the first guy that I love, or the first guy I wanna be with, because I also think there is a lot of piece of shit dads out there that create that perspective of like, fuck, this was what my dad was like. I'm talking about females. Boys, I think, is a little bit easier. You just want to teach them not to be assholes and be gentlemen at some point. But it gets weird, because this conversation could go on forever, because I can speak to you about boys. Like, you teach them to be gentlemen. But in today's world, I've ran into people where I've tried to pick up a female's water from the pallet to put it on her cart at a grocery store, and it's like, what, you think I can't pick up the water? I open up the door for somebody, and then a female looks at me and goes, well, you think I can't open up the door for myself? And I'm gonna tell you something.
Whoa.
I
Right.
stopped doing that shit, and people look at me like, what a dick. And I'm like, no, I'm not a dick, because that's what you wanted from us.
Past experiences. Yeah, exactly.
So, but then it becomes a weird thing where you can't use if we want to go deeper into it, I think it's something that you can't use your experiences or negative experiences in this world and put them on your kids, because then it goes back to the conversation of the broken plates, that just because people broke plates on your ass doesn't mean that now your kids have to learn from those and pass it and keep passing down this negativity. You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I think opening up a door for a female is something that we should do. It doesn't make them less of a woman by opening up her door. It doesn't make you less of a man by opening up the door, picking up a water for a lady that's in the store, maybe struggling with water. Because I've had those experiences before. And at the end of the day, I think men should be gentlemen. Men should be the guy doing the heavy weight lifting. They should lift the heavy stuff. Like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to say this again. I don't know if I've already said it, but I think there is a narrative that is outside of us normal people that is getting pushed onto these women when you open up your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, your all those social medias, your X, Twitter, whatever, that it makes you start believing that the whole world works like that, and it's not true. It's not true. And I fell for it for a little bit. Like I said, I had a few experiences with these vegans or whatever people that, like, oh, why are you picking up my water for? Oh, you think I can't pick it up myself? I'm like, oh no, okay, I'm not gonna pick up the water.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you opening up the door for me? You think I can't open up the door myself? Like, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that happened to me here in LA.
Of course.
In Arizona, I've got in the water for people. And people don't care. People are genuinely nice. I know it sounds weird to say, to like divide the two states, but it's my experiences that I've had. But I think one of the main thing is, like, going back again to this whole point of, like, I think women need to do a better job as far as you can't look at your parents' situations and then try to reenact that later on with the men, because I think we've experienced that, where based off of their experiences with their moms, they want to put that on us when we haven't done anything wrong yet. From day zero.
Real quick, something I experienced in the past, right? About I had a girl tell me about, this is the way that my dad is, right? And I'm like, okay, this family is they're pretty good, financially. They're not wealthy, they're not poor or whatever, but they're doing well for each other, for themselves. Dad's doing all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's not working. Okay. And according to her, from what I was told, by her, it was one of those, my dad gives me everything because he said he doesn't want a guy to come in here, wow me with something I haven't seen or I'm not used to, and for me to be like, oh, and be swept off. So financially speaking, I guess the dad was trying to give them everything. that he could to his daughters, so that they wouldn't be wowed about, you know, a guy having a nice car, a guy taking him to a nice spot, or a guy making, you know, pretty good money. For them to be like, oh, okay, so what does this prove? And it again, it comes back to family ties, generation ties.
Yeah.
Dads don't want their daughters to be a certain way. Moms want their sons to be taken care of a certain way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, look, we see it in families that have brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
How the mom caters a lot more to the brother, and the sister's always hating. Oh, yeah, you always cater to him and blah, blah. You serve him first. But when the dad's around, it's like daddy's girl, daddy's princess, you know.
Yeah.
Daddy says yes, daddy never says no. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it can go back to los platos rotos type of conversation we're having. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, we kind of get, how you say in Spanish, mal acostumbrados.
Mm-hmm.
Because our parents want us to be treated a certain way.
Yeah.
And then once we venture off into that lifetime that we're going to meet our partner, we meet different people, and it's like it can go that way or not. And we can be used to that way. And if it's not like that, we're not going to adjust, or maybe we do adjust.
They inject certain standards in our brain that we when we don't get that, that's when the little kid of inside of us starts kicking out and saying, well, why am I not getting this? Well, my mom said that I had to get this, and I will speak not, you know, too into the personal experience, but yeah, there has been times where I remember a couple times where in my previous relationship I did, and I am guilty, and I'm not ashamed to say that I did, you know, I do raise my hand and say, there was a lot of times where my expectations weren't met, and I did put this whole, you know, what you'd call a bitch fit, right? You'd call it a bitch fit, you know, that it's you know, it's the standards that are injected from my mom and my dad, or, you know, more than anything, my mom, you know, that I'm supposed to be treated this certain way, and I'm supposed to be loved this certain way. Mm-hmm. And I think that actually did affect me in my previous relationship, where right. I did try to, you know, have those standards be met, but in reality, it's, you know,
but it's a weird one, right? Because you want them to meet your standards, but are you meeting their standards?
Yeah, that's a double whammy.
And then here we go with the other thing. It's like, but I think that's what comes along with trying to understand people. Right? Like when you come together with the person and decide you really like them, you like their appearance, you're, you know, sexually attracted to them, you like how they think, there are standards, right? That you have yourself, but I think sometimes as men, so we're not going to sit here and just shit on women the whole day.
Yeah.
Because you have to also think, you know, we have our standards and they have their standards. Are you meeting their standards? Where it gets difficult is like, are we voicing our standards? Now, standards get weird because there's standards and there's minimums, right?
Yeah,
there's things that, like, in order for this household to flourish, there has to be minimums from both sides, which goes back to what you said in the other podcast with the 50-50. And sometimes you're not going to come in 50% into the relationship. Sometimes you're going to be, you know, 25%, but you need that female to give you that 75. And when she's at 25, you have to give that 75 to make the 100. But what's happening now is that there's pride, there's ego based off of life experiences sometimes that, like I said, they saw with their parents, we saw with their parents, that they don't want to meet that 75% when you're at 25. When you're at 25, you're not masculine anymore.
Yeah.
Keyword, no te dejes.
So,
and it goes
when does it become, because I heard it multiple times, right? And I'm going to mock it here. It's not fair. But it's not fair. Are you talking about 25-75? Yeah. But it's not fair. And I'll raise my hand. There had been times in my previous relationship where I raised my hand, and I'll tell you, I would say, well, it's not fair. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of...
But that's not looked at as masculine. Because men are supposed to shut the fuck up. Men are supposed to do what you have to do because you have a standard in this society that if you go anything below a certain percentage that we are known to do, then it's like, well,
You can't say
what do I need a
it's
man
not
for?
fair back in the day.
Oh no, fuck
You
no.
had to.
Oh no,
shut
when did
up.
my dad ever say it's not fair?
You had to shut up
That's
and
wild. That's
nut
Three
up.
fucking jobs.
Which we do want to get my dad on this podcast soon.
Three?
I-
Oh yeah.
I agree. I mean,
I think it'd be
obviously,
cool to get our dads
eventually,
and stuff, moms. That'd
eventually,
be
guys, we're gonna have people come into the podcast, and you're getting four guys' opinions and four people's mindset and different stuff that we gotta say about things. But at the end of the day, it's like it's not just gonna be us. It's like we're gonna bring different people in here to, hey, what do you think about this? It might be this same topic to give it to the other person to briefly touch up on and give them the floor. It can be a guy, it can be a female. It doesn't necessarily matter. But we're trying to be, we're trying to entertain you at the end of the day. Your commute, work, back home to work, or whatever you're doing, working in the office, you're 9 to 5. And at the end of the day, it's like topics that everybody can relate to. And I think it's a very good idea if we can get, our first generation dads or parents, moms
That'd be cool.
too,
That'd be something for the future.
to,
It'd
just
be cool to get my dad on here. Though.
to just kind of like, hey,
But imagine he starts shitting on my mom. I might want to throw a can at him. Like,
well, guess what?
"Pa, what the fuck?"
Guess what? What happens on the next one? We get your mom on it.
Oh no, that's a lot of crying.
Hey, but it is what it is. But guess what?
All these traumas are gonna flourish back up.
It's all right. It's all right. That's what we're here for, right?
No, I think it's a matter of these perspectives that we have on these topics are
Two sides to a story, baby.
yeah. And at the end of the day, I think you just have to try to. I don't know what's right or wrong in today's society though, and I really don't understand. Like I've tried to be the super masculine guy, take over the fucking relationship, be that man, be that dude, and then it's wrong. And then I've tried to be the I know the word sounds
50-50
weird.
guy?
No, I try to be the submissive guy in the relationship.
Oof.
Be the passive dude. Bro, that shit.
You don't take charge. What's wrong with you?
You get taken advantage of.
No, it's not even being taken advantage of. You try to be the passive dude, and I'm sorry to say it, but nothing gets done. Nothing gets tidied up. Things don't move how they have to move. And if you become that passive, shut up kind of guy, sit there and don't say anything, bro,
You get
nothing
stepped on.
happens. Now, it depends. For everybody's different, right? It depends what type of life you're trying to chase. If you're trying to achieve certain goals, if you're trying to open up a business, if you're trying to do this, if you're trying to do that, then, and you love this woman and stuff, then maybe you can be the passive guy. I think there's no problem. Everyone... But for me personally, like I've tried to be that passive dude, shut up, trying to let the woman take the reins like they want to do today. And I promise you, nothing gets done. Now, it depends on the female.
A good point, because I was about to say, I think it just depends on the female, because I want to believe that they're in, not just to say I want to believe, but I came across small percentage. Now I haven't dated 100% of the female population, but I want
Be
to
nice,
say
eh?
the small percentage that I have came across.
Only a 25%, sure.
So the 5% that I've came across, then I have met some go-getter females that can't get it done, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? But it goes back to what we're talking about. Los platos rotos. Some females grow up seeing a certain thing where your dad was taking charge of things and planning out, whether it was trips, family outings, or simple stuff, una carne asada, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a female for some families. Maybe it was a dad. But
But
whatever they
can
grow
you
up
be in
seeing,
that? Can you sit here and look at yourself and let yourself get guided by a female like that.
No,
I can't.
no, I can't.
For me, it depends on the situation, and it's like
I have no situation. It
and
depends.
for
on.
me, it's like okay, so what are we doing? Because my issue when it comes down to it, it's like okay, what time are we leaving? Where are we going?
You know, you don't decide on the time you.
And
leave.
guess what? Every time
It's on our hair.
Every time I
It's-
say we're
when it's-
leaving at 1:00,
It's 3:00.
what time do we leave? Fucking
5.
Almost 1:30, 2:00.
You're
And
late.
It's like, dude. And even if I try to say, oh, okay, give a fake time and earlier time, and
Still
we
doesn't
don't-
work.
It doesn't.
No,
happen
but
at the time that I
as
wanted
far
to say, you
as
know?
far
That's-
as far
yeah.
as this, right? Like I'm not too sure what your goals are and what you're headed to. I don't know. I don't think we've ever had that conversation before. But for example, if I need if for
I
example,
want to be bad and bougie. No, just playing.
You slay, girl.
Yas.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, we got a little. What was it, Gen Z here?
Oh my
All
god.
of a sudden, we turned.
We
into
just
this
got a
sh-
flashback to our times together.
Fuck. Anyways, keep going.
Woo! Like Ric Flair, baby.
We're signing off. I think them happy dads hit
Has
happy.
anybody heard under freaking under 25? They say, "Who the hell's Ric Flair?"
If anybody under 25, if anybody in general says, who is Ric Flair?
Oh no, he's gonna turn this into the
Dude,
Ric
he's
Flair.
annoying though now.
Woo!
He is not annoying.
Did you? Okay, I'm not gonna get into it, but
He,
watch Tony Hinchcliffe's. Oh man, he's annoying.
he is
Oh God.
the Rolex wearing, jet flying son of a gun.
But I bet you he didn't have to deal with any of the shit we do. If you talk like that today,
Oh
be
no,
like, who
no.
are
Have you seen some of his stories? Off topic, real quick. No, dude, that dude will pull people into a hotel, bar area, he
And
will
do what?
drink for free, only because he announced this is where I'm gonna be at tonight.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else about a woman, dude. This came out with some.
Oh,
bar thing.
he was a male playboy. Don't get him wrong, dude. Come on now.
Yeah, but if you're that today, good luck getting a female.
Well, you might catch a case.
Yeah.
That's where we're at today.
You were saying? Do you remember what you were saying?
But yeah,
No, I forgot what I was saying,
Your
but
point.
basically, it's just it's a different time. It's a different time, and
But he didn't answer the question that you asked. Could
What-
you? What
what I asked.
what was the question again?
When you asked, could you handle that? Could you
Oh, yeah.
handle a
Can't-
woman? Because he kind of went around it.
No,
I'm gonna
well,
kind
no,
of
I
I'm gonna
said-
kind
Yeah,
of
he
pin
did
it.
go.
No, shut up, Renee. I'm gonna put you against the fucking wall right now because Ricardo's not doing it. So I'm gonna fucking do it. Slay,
You said,
bitch.
"Ooh."
Hey, no, I'm serious, man.
No,
Could you be? Because Ricardo answered it right off the
Fuck
bat. He
no.
said there's no situation about it. No, I personally can't either, dude. Because
I can't be a sedated dog. Like I would not be those
all right,
dogs.
well,
that
no,
you,
no, I don't agree
You're
with you.
not chopping my
You don't
balls
put
Here we go,
yourself
but-
as a sedated
hey,
dog either, dude.
here
What
we
the
go.
hell did you just
Here we
say?
go with the Ric Flairs. Woo!
Dude, no, you're just trying to avoid the conversation
No,
by adding
I-
Ric Flair here, buddy.
I said it depends.
on
No,
what?
man,
It's a
what the
yes or
fuck you mean?
Stop with your gray area Raider shit.
Yeah, man. No,
This
stop.
has
Don't
nothing to
mention
do with the
anything that doesn't have
Raiders,
to do-
guys.
Come on,
I'm
we gotta
just
wrap
saying,
this
no,
up, man.
It depends. For
Let's
me,
go.
it just depends. Like,
On what?
I'm willing to. Okay, if like you said.
Oh,
can
well,
I
you're
fo-
gonna make us look like shit
can
right
I
now because
follow- can I
Nah.
follow?
yeah, he's gonna
care.
make us.
I don't care.
Well, he's gonna
I'll
try to
go.
make me look like shit.
Can
Right?
I follow a female's
Hold on, go
lead?
ahead.
Yes, I can.
Sure, I could too.
Okay, yes,
Could
I
you
can.
do that for the rest of your life in certain areas that you know as a man? As a man,
I like where this is going.
As a man,
You just smacked him.
as a man, and
You
the
did.
study wasn't in his
Smacked
fucking
my
face.
ass, smacked him.
Listen to what I just said, man. Before I get crazy on, no, just kidding.
Passionate.
No, in certain areas, and am I right or am I wrong? There's certain areas, dude, where there's a line where it's, dude, this is part of a man, and you can't let the woman jump in there. Yeah. Could you live your life like that with a woman where she continuously gets in that area, your masculine area? You can live with that?
Now you're asking me if I can allow a female to lead for the rest of my life, and it's like no.
In certain areas of that you're supposed to lead.
Now,
because
I'm telling you
that's how it is, fool.
What I'm
Right?
trying to tell you is like, look, I'm okay with them taking over certain things.
He doesn't want to get canceled.
He's
No.
a strap-on kind of dad.
No, I'm just saying I'm okay with. Hey, if a female tells me, hey, we're gonna go do this, and I planned this, and that out for us. We're gonna go to Big Bear for the weekend, and this is what we're doing.
No.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. Now, where I have an issue with, it comes down to timing. Didn't you say we were gonna do this? Didn't you say we were gonna do that? And we're not doing that.
No, but
I'm talking about planning out shit.
No, you're getting into detail. I'm talking about, can you date? Could you be with a female that
tells me what to do?
runs the whole thing, the whole show, and you need to shut up and stay there, go to work, come back, bring your check, leave it at home, and you have nothing to do with your money. You drop off your... No, listen to me.
Brian's gonna love this response.
No, hold on. Can you live with someone where you come home, drop off your check, you shut up, you come home, you be a sedated dog, I chop your balls off, and you live your life quiet as hell. I say what has to be done. If I say I'm going to remodel this, I'm going to do it with your money. And guess what? We're going to start a business because I want to, and you're going to work for me. Can you do that as a man? That's what I'm asking you. There is no
Holy
gray
shit.
area. It's
Okay,
you
just
can't do it
answer
or
it,
no.
dude.
When you
you're
put
talking,
it-
no,
when
no,
you
no,
put it
pissing me
that
the
way.
fuck
no, because because you're talking to me about times and shit. Women are never on time. I know that.
No. When you put it that way,
Well, that's the way we've been putting it since the beginning.
Yeah,
You're
well,
giving
you're
me
over here with your-
You're,
Well,
you're
he
talking
put it
about
Raider
what
Gray
ti-
shit.
Yeah,
No.
what time they go. Like, no,
That's-
dude, I can
No,
listen to me. I
That's
can
silver,
work.
not
I can
gray.
work with a woman like that
As
though.
long as I can play Call of Duty in
I
between.
can.
my answer is no.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That's what.
All right. so
When
then
you
we're all
put
on
it
no.
that way, my answer is no.
All right. What do you think Diego would say?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I just
I can speak for Diego.
I just wanted to hear that.
I can speak for Diego, and he will turn and look at all of us and be silent, and then
No.
just be like,
No.
No,
Fuck
but,
no.
But no, that's what I wanted to hear because you keep doing this thing where you're going on these
No.
gray areas, and I know you don't.
And you're
not-
pissing
and
me off.
I'm a gray area
You're
person,
pissing-
but when you
No.
No,
put
you're
it,
not, Renee.
when you put it that way,
Maradona said,
No.
"Yo soy blanco, soy negro." I mean, no.
Maradona used the hand of God, which is
no,
his
don't-
fucking hand.
Don't
No.
distract them, man.
Hell
With the
no. Come on
conversation.
now.
Now you jump
Don't
somewhere
let me
else.
get into that shit. Yeah.
No, but okay, so
All right, I got just last question for you, and then we'll wrap it up now for reals. What advice would you give? It's the same question I asked Ricardo. What advice would you give a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old or a young kid, a female,
yeah, 'cause
with this
female
broken
male
plate,
is
with
different,
this
Female?
broken?
unfortunately.
Sure, female, male. Let's just say, well, it's two different sides, right? Female. I asked Ricardo the same thing. What advice would you give her in this broken plate situation?
I
And keep it short, buddy.
Maybe something I can speak to is I have a niece, right? She's around the age of 15, 16 or so.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the things I could say is like her, being in a household of a single mom. I would tell her, you know what, do what you got to do, get your education. If you don't want to work, access your network, talk to people, see what kind of job you can get. A job that's going to be a good job for you, not a basic job. But when it comes to
Broken plates.
relationships, family, don't focus on that. You're too young for that. It's fun. It's, but accidents happen and it's okay. But the thing is, we want to avoid that. So do what you got to do. Study. If you don't want to study, work hard. Start building something for your future. Have a plan. Have a goal. Have a mini plan, 5-year plan, whatever the case is. But make sure you're following it. And I'm talking me to my niece. And it's like, look, boys right now, look, I've been there, done that. I've been in that age. It's nothing serious. It's really rare. Yes, there are high school sweethearts. But it's what? Small percentage.
Right,
That
it's
happens to stay together.
Sounds all great, rainbows and roses.
Exactly.
But what about her broken plates
So
and
at
the drama behind it? Because
at
I'm
the
pretty
end-
sure there was broken plates behind
of course,
it. Right?
of course. So
what would you tell your 15-year-old niece
at the
regarding
end of the
that?
day-
How does she supposed to act upon that now, living her life like that?
Hey, you have people around you that love you. You have support. Reach out. We might not live in a distance where we can drive 10 minutes and meet you up, but we phone call away, message
But
away,
how do
stay
you
in contact.
How do you ensure? Then that's where I think moms come in, right? Like he can say, like, to your niece, I understand, like you can say whatever you want, and I think it's good to conduce them that way, or you know, show them that. But the thing is that I think the example the mother shows the daughters, as far as like being a woman, is who they become later on. Because I think mothers and the father, as far as like what the father is like with the mother, influences a lot who they become as women later on. And I think it's an unconscious thing that will come in with them. So you could give them all this advice. I understand, because I would be the same way, like, you know, pursue.
Well, you say the right things.
Career. But at the end of the day, I think some of the stuff that we're seeing today with females, I think it's because unconsciously they're seeing their mothers be piece of shit moms.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That then they end up, that's what they know.
But yeah, okay, you're not wrong, but at the same time, given that support around them, then okay, maybe mom's not the right fit. What about grandma? If they got grandma support, okay. If they don't, what about my aunt? They might have an aunt support.
A mother,
female perspective, right? Right?
Yeah.
Speaking like female perspective,
Yeah.
they might have another female's perspective that they rather follow instead of mom's, or maybe they take up on Uncle Nino.
Yeah, man, but a mom's a mom, man, and you're
I
never gonna knock a mom down. No advice can be too big from a grandma, from a uncle, from an aunt, compared to a mother, dude. You know,
you'd be
and
surprised.
It can get you so far. It can only get you so far, though, man.
If the daughter if the daughter or son has their mind made up about their parent or parents, believe me, grandparents, ninos, ninas, uncles, aunts, like I'm talking about family.
I hear you. Yeah.
Not your outside family, your immediate family, can make an effect.
Yeah, so I think this is a strange place to leave it at. I think it's to be continued, but I think we're gonna have to reference this episode back with, maybe we could bring in some baby mamas that we know that
Absolutely.
and let them speak out and defend themselves, because you know we have a perspective as men, and I think we should give them the chance now to say screw you, and this is how I feel.
Of course,
and
agree to disagree.
And I think this is a good place to leave it off. I think it is definitely to be continued episode.
Of course.
Because I need to learn how to edit this thing.
Honestly, I love this episode here.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a deep one. It's one that's obviously very opinion based off of men, which is what it's going to be. But I think eventually we do have to come back to this episode, get a female in here. We know people that can come in here, have a good time, couple drinks, maybe let themselves loose and have a conversation, because we know a lot of baby mamas out there that don't give a damn. So I want to hear their perspective too. And if I'm not going to say names on here yet, but we have an idea of maybe who we can bring in.
As far as we can speak in terms of like
what's their perspective on
in terms of beer pong, and give the baby mamas or females a rebuttal. I like that we were in sync on that one.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we're going to sign off, and this is another episode of Yo Soy Tu Maestro podcast.
Goloso.
We're going to get there. We don't know if that's the name, but
Como
we're
dice el
signing
gato,
off.
meow.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Peace.